Well, we all know walking around or driving through Lewes, that time of year when you see the tulips. And you know what I'm talking about if you've seen them. They are the biggest, most beautiful, perfect tulips you've ever seen. And all thanks to Lewes in Bloom. So if you haven't heard of Lewes in Bloom, I don't know how you haven't heard of them, but we're going to introduce you to two members right now. We have Terry Yates and we have Jane Wagg. Did I say your last name right, Jane?
Correct.
Perfect. All right. Well, first, welcome to the CoastLife Couch.
Thank you.
Happy to have you both.
Having us.
Of course. So that's one of my favorite things about Lewes is when you get to see all those beautiful tulips. It's incredible. But of course, we know it takes some community support. It takes some helping hands. We're going to get to that in just a second. First, could you guys just describe who you are and what Lewes in Bloom is for those who don't know?
Sure, you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. My name is Terry Yates, and I've been volunteering with Lewes in Bloom for 8 years,
Nice.
doing all sorts of things. And when you work with Lewes in Bloom, you don't necessarily have to use your hands and dig in the dirt. I happen to like that, getting up early in the morning. So I've been planting and taking plants out and all of that.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit about your experience with Lewes in Bloom and what you've done, Jane?
Yes, I've been a member of Lewes in Bloom for 6 years, and I'm not a morning person, so I don't typically get out into the gardens as much as my heart wants me to get up. But physically, it's really challenging. So I have found that if I volunteer for the wreath sale, which is the biggest fundraiser that we have for Lewes in Bloom, that satisfies my need to being a member of Lewes in Bloom. And with the wreath sale, all the proceeds go to funding the purchase of over 31,000 tulip bulbs that we're going to plant this fall.
That is absolutely incredible. So I'm glad you mentioned that because, you know, like we said, all those beautiful tulips, keeping Lewes so beautiful, it takes money, it takes support. I think you not being so much of a morning person is relatable. So I think a lot of people will be excited to know that they can join Lewes in Bloom and not have to be up too early or get their hands too dirty. But if they want to keep seeing those tulips in Lewes, they can support by getting one of these beautiful wreaths. I don't know if we can, let's see, show it to you guys a little bit, but look at this. It's beautiful, and it doesn't even have its bow on it yet. But how can someone get their hands on this beautiful wreath?
Well, they can go online and use a credit card. They can use a form that we have and happy to give it to anybody, or they can find it on the website. And
There are posters around town advertising the wreath sale. And this year we've added a little QR code.
Perfect.
So if you're around any businesses around town, at the fire station, police station, library, and you want to buy a wreath, you can use your phone and take a picture of the QR code, and all the information is on there.
Perfect. I think this will make a great gift as well. If you don't get it for your own home, gifting someone a beautiful real wreath that just smells amazing and looks so beautiful, I think is a great gift. So you definitely want to check that out. And real quick though, I need to congratulate you guys because Lewes in Bloom got an award recently, well deserved. But tell us a little bit about this award that you recently got.
Yes, we just recently learned that through all of our efforts in having 2 judges come down. They're both from Europe, and they toured several places in the United States looking at various things. They had a checklist of things that they were looking for. And so the first international award we won this year is the Outstanding Achievement for International Plant and Displays.
Wow.
And the second award that we won is the 2024 International Challenge Small Communities Award.
Okay, well congratulations,
Yes.
well deserved. Oh my gosh, well I love this. I think this is so exciting too because it just shows how much work you do put into it. We can tell you guys how beautiful Lewes is all day, but that really just proves that all your hard work is paying off.
Yes.
So if you want to keep seeing Lewes be beautiful and see those beautiful tulips, make sure you order one of these wreaths. But if you notice, there's a little bare spot on this wreath. I don't know if you can see it, and that is because the bow's not on it yet. So in just a second, we're gonna have Leah come on and another member from Lewes in Bloom, and we're gonna finish up this wreath and show us how they make the beautiful bows. But right now, thank you both for being here.
yes, and may I say too
Please.
that the bow comes with us. So when you purchase this, this beautiful bow that you're going to see comes with it as well.
That's true. Yeah, you don't have to make your own, but we're just going to show you how it's done behind the scenes. So Terry and Jane, thank you for being here, and stick with us so you can see what your wreath is going to look like when it's all done. You're watching CoastLife. We are back, and Leah's here now.
I just got so jealous. You guys are having so much fun on the couch talking about wreaths and Lewes and Bloom.
We were.
I just had to butt in.
I know. So we brought Leah on. We're happy to have her. We're also happy to have another member of Lewes and Bloom. We have Patti Walters. Thank you for being here, Patti.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, so we just talked about this wreath fundraiser, and we're getting very excited for it. And you brought us, though, this kind of finishing touch, if you will, this lovely bow right here. I'm going to pull it up so we can show it. But you make these.
Yes.
So impressive.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think this adds, to the wreath? Why do you think this is kind of the cherry on top?
Well, they used to purchase wreaths, or bows, I'm sorry. And they, 2 years ago, they asked me if I would make them. And so I said, of course, yes. And these bows are much nicer. The ones that you pre-buy are just not as pretty. And they don't have this quality. This has the little gold on it. It also has the wire in it, which makes it easy for storage. So the next year you can bring it out and you just poof those little, the little loops there.
Yeah.
And so you can keep it for several years. It will last. Whereas the ones that they bought before, once they flattened, they didn't have the wire in them and they didn't last.
That was it, yeah.
So anyway, we are doing, this is our second year, and we're up to making 700 bows a year. But the nice thing about this is, like the ladies were saying earlier, not everybody can do gardens. Not everybody, some people have knee problems. And so this is a nice alternative if you can do it with your hands, because this does tire your hands with turning and twisting and holding it. But a lot of the ladies like this because they're contributing, and they're contributing to a wonderful fundraiser, which gives us all our tulips for this spring. So we meet, the ladies work at home. We meet once or twice during the whole year, and make sure everybody's in the same wavelength. And then I kind of am the coordinator. I pick up the bows from the ladies, and I do the final prep of them. They make them, and then when they give them to me, I, cut them and put the little thank you tag on them. Yeah.
And what I like about this too is you were explaining you can put it on any spot you want on the wreath. It has these things on the back that you'll kind of show us how to do, but you can pick where on your wreath your bow goes. You can individualize it. So can you show us how you make these beautiful bows?
Sure,
okay.
sure.
Yeah.
So you can see I just started with a tail.
Okay.
And the big thing is you pinch everything and turn.
Gotcha.
So there's my center, which you have the little tack on.
Yes, that's what this tag is
And then
on.
I'm just going to make my loops. And you just pinch and you turn. And you go over here and you make your other loop.
I'm already at a loss. I'm like, how'd you do that?
We turned what way?
Right.
Each loop is about 6 inches. It's about a 6-inch loop. And you just twist and turn it like that. So why you turn it is so that the velvet comes back to the front.
Forward.
You don't want, this side is not velvet. So you want to make sure that your velvet is always in
center.
place. So, and then you just do this, twist.
I think I'm starting to see it.
Yeah.
Did it click for us at the same time?
It does,
Yeah.
it does. Let me count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you don't want to lose your count of what you're doing here.
It's one big, massive bow.
So we're almost done. So we're twisting it. And here's our last loop. And even that one, you have to twist to get your velvet around. I have a little wire cut, pre-cut.
There it is.
And you want to make your wire long enough that it will go around your wreath.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's not a big deal, but that makes it a little bulkier. You'd have to just put a separate wire on it.
Sure.
You can use those, I don't know if you've seen chenille stems. They're the little, almost like a pipe cleaner. They call them chenille stems.
no. Okay.
Yeah, so you have that. So then you just push it apart.
Oh, there you go.
And it won't fall apart because you've wired it.
Yeah.
Bring your tails down and you push it apart. And then you do the famous poofing.
Yes, gorgeous.
And here's your bow, and you want to make your tails the same. So you cut her there. And then the final is getting it in shape. You say poof it, You just have to, you don't have to be easy with it, gentle, just pull them.
Yeah.
And do whatever you want.
Yeah, so there you have it. And then what we do is when I get these back from the ladies, I do the final poof.
Yeah.
And I taper the end of the ribbon, and then we put the little thank you card on it.
Just looks and feels so magical.
It does, doesn't it?
And it makes it beautiful. So I've done that for people when they've
Aw.
asked. But yeah, so, and this is a wonderful fundraiser. I've only been with Lewes and Bloom 3 years, so the first year I got already involved.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that you can get involved in, just not if you can't do the garden.
Sure.
So,
Good to know.
but it's a wonderful organization, and this really helps us to have the beautiful tulips in the spring.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Well, maybe you'll have one of these bows on your wreath when you buy one, which you got to do by November 8th. Don't
Yes.
forget. That's coming up very soon, actually.
Sure is.
Yes. So don't forget to do that. It's the reason we can see those beautiful tulips again. Don't forget in Lewes, and they'll deliver them to you, businesses and homes, early December. So get those orders in by November 8th. Patty, thank you for showing us all this.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much. All right, guys, coming up, you told us earlier about some charcuterie boards,
yes, I
Leah.
did.
I want to see what you were talking about.
Yes, you do.
So we'll get to that in just a second.